Alright, so here's my fully functional radian glider. You're not seeing things, the wingtips are all moving. And then I have my flaps. I have a DX5E radio, so I only have 2 positions for my flaps, nothing fancy. Alright, there they go. They're growling. I don't know why, there's no tension on them. They shouldn't be growling. I mean, these wingtips, the way I installed them, they move like butter, so there's no strain on them. But there's my tail, my full flying horizontal stabilizer, and just for the fun of it, removable landing gear. So this thing can taxi and take off. Don't hit the garage door. So the reason why I installed the elevators, hold on, I'm getting up out of my chair, is that I wanted to. And I noticed that when I had the flaps down on my other airplane, and find out where all that growling is coming from. They just put this thing together. In fact, it's so not even done yet. This filler still in the wing where I inserted the carbon fiber rod. So I'll go over everything. There, the growling stopped. I have the cheap $5 servos and the flaps. I'm not too happy about that. This is my full flying elevator. I did this with I used 2 cassette or cartridge bearings, and I made a little tube out of fiberglass and balsa wood, shoved it in the tail, and then there's a carbon fiber rod that runs through those bearings, and it goes right through the elevator. I kind of went overboard on the elevator build, but this thing is rock solid. It ain't going anywhere. The flaps, just cut out flaps, use tape for my hinges on the bottom. The wingtips, that's the big story there. I cut a slot through the whole wing, and I found 2 carbon fiber rods. I found out that this one carbon fiber rod that I bought at the hobby shop fits almost snugly inside the radian wing carbon fiber tube. So I used a short piece of that, and I covered the carbon fiber rod with some glass and sanded it smooth so it had a snug fit, and then polished it. And I even gave it a coat of clear urethane and polished the carbon fiber rod so it moves inside, so it rotates nicely inside the carbon tube. So I have the rod is glued from here and goes all the way down, and then this is tube from here to here. And this thing ain't going anywhere. Let's see the inside of the airplane. Keep in mind I just basically finished this, so it's not pretty. I should have waited until it was done before I decided to show it off. Wait, hold on. I gotta put my camera down for 1 second. Sorry about that. So anyway, I had to make up a custom part here. I'm just going to disconnect this servo. Alright, so now the servo is disconnected from my custom horn. That's my custom horn that I had to make. I took up a piece of thick plywood, just cut it to the shape of the wing, because one of the problems was I wanted this thing to be rigid as anything. I didn't want any play. I first had a linkage that came out, and it was bent like an L, and I wanted to put a horn on the wing, but I didn't like that. There was too much play in there. Like I said, I should have probably used bigger servos for this, but I'll see if it works. But anyway, there's some magnets in the end of the carbon fiber tube, magnets inside this carbon fiber tube at the other end. Just goes in like that. Moves very freely. And that's just about it. I figure this kind of worked out pretty well because I can actually put this thing in my car without having to take off the wing, because now I have two Y connectors going through the fuselage and through the wing, and they're a pain in the neck to connect. So it's probably easier that I just take off the wingtips when I want to put the thing in my car, and it'll fit hopefully in the car without taking the wing off. So if I want to go to a field and fly instead of in front of my house, then I can do that. So that's just about it. One last note, if this doesn't work, I'm hoping it will, because I put a lot of work and a lot of thought into this. If it doesn't work, what I think I can do is I could just cut a slot going down the wing and force the wing to go straight, and then glue a piece of plywood in there, maybe to hold the wing straight or straighter, and then I could actually put an aileron on the wing, and then I'd lose the fancy curved up wingtip. But I'll have ailerons, so that'll be no problem. The reason why I wanted the ailerons is, like I said, I noticed with my other wing that I had with flaps that the plane lacked stability with the flaps down coming in for landing at a slow speed, and it was very wobbly. And in fact, one day I landed in my neighbor's oak tree with it. And I also noticed that when I take off and I'm climbing, this thing wants to climb vertically, and it's kind of hard to keep it from going over on itself and going upside down. And it's also hard to steer right and left when climbing, so I figure ailerons would help. And if you're wondering why I don't just go out and get a Radian Pro, there's two reasons for that. One, I don't have the money to go out and get a Radian Pro. I'm not one of those guys on YouTube that that purchase an airplane every time a new airplane comes out and do an unboxing and a flight review. I don't even have a job. In fact, I just made a couple of extra dollars. That's how I got to afford this airplane. But anyway, that's why I put the ailerons on it. Plus, I just wanted to just do it for fun and for an experiment. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, like I said, I could either glue the wing back in and try to straighten the wingtip, which really doesn't have much to go. And then I could probably put an aileron in there, or I could just fly it just with the flaps and get flapperons. I didn't want flapperons because if you have flapperons, then you lose aileron control when you have your flaps down when you're coming in for a landing. So I'll give this thing a flight test tomorrow if it's nice out, or the next day, or whenever. I'm in no hurry. Like I said, at least now I have the landing gear on the plane. I don't have to go out and hand launch it and risk having the thing dive into the ground. I like the landing gear. I could pull back. I could taxi down the road and pull back on the elevator and climb, and I don't have to worry about any surprises. Once I'm airborne, I could trim the ailerons. Hopefully they'll work. I'm kind of really hoping on this, so if all goes well, maybe by tomorrow you'll see another video of a Radian going really crazy, doing rolls. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.